So I wanted to talk to you about what is distracted driving, and it is a little broader than what you may think. A lot of people think that distracted driving is just doing something in the car that takes you away from your focus of driving. And that is certainly true, but it's a little bit broader than that. And I want to talk to you about the broader concept of it. So distracted driving is, of course, we always now, well, we always, not always, but we associate it with texting and driving, or fooling with our phone and driving. And that's certainly distracting. And it is illegal to do that, to text while you're driving. At least it is here in Virginia and probably most states in our country. But that's part of it. Distracted driving also is cognitive distractions. So cognitive is thinking, processing, your mental processes. And I'm going to lump under cognitive, which is not quite accurate, but your emotions. So for example, you get in a fight with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you're upset and crying, and you decide to leave and get in your car and take off. You are, I will make the case that you are a distracted driver, because your mind is not focused in on your driving. You're in an emotional state, and then you're crying, which of course affects your visual abilities. When your eyes cry and they produce tears and they swell, you're not able to see as well as you might be able to when you're not in that state. So people who are in an emotional state, anger, upset, fearful, whatever those characteristics are, as far as an emotional experience, those can affect your driving. So what we want to do is typically get away with that from that situation. That's a normal human response. But with that said, be aware of that. So if you happen to have that experience, and where you just want to get away from the house for a little bit, little peace, nothing wrong with that. Make sure that you have a plan of action. And that is to call a girlfriend or a guy friend up and say, come get me, come get me. Don't drive in an emotional state. So I'm going to include that in cognitive, because your thought process is affected by your emotional state. So that is part of distracted driving too. I just talked about a little bit about visual disturbances. So I wear contacts, for example. I've got them in. They don't work that great. That's why I've got reading glasses right now. But I wouldn't wear my reading glasses when I drive. But the contacts work really well when I'm driving, and I can see far distances. But I've gotten something in my eyes before. So, and I've had to pull over. And so that's the correct response. And that is, if you get something that's altering your ability to drive, and you get something in your eye, please safely pull over until you can get that situated. So the visual distractions, again, the best thing you can do is make a plan. And so you have to think about this and know about it and say, well, Bettina, she told me about my contacts. I got something in my contacts. I need to pull over so I don't continue to drive. And the impulse would be just to try to continue to drive, and it's going to clear up. Please don't do that, because then you put yourself in harm's way, and other people in harm's way as well. So those are two areas where I don't think there's enough talk about what is distracted driving. The other thing, I just thought of one other thing I would add to the cognitive part of it, and that is that the drinking and driving, or drugging and driving, is under that cognitive processing. And that is that it can affect your ability to think and process sharply, when you need to react in a car. The other thing that drinking and drugging does to a person is affect their motor skills. So that's another distracted driving, when you're physically not able to react, apply the brake, apply the gas, steer the car, in a sharply cognitive way, because you are diminished cognitively due to the drugs, due to the alcohol. So make a plan again, so that you hear a lot of chatter about, if you're out there drinking, make a plan, get Uber, get Lyft, call a friend, get home safely. It saves yourself a lot of hassle, not only criminally, but civilly too. And we would never want to hurt somebody because we're doing that and we're acting and driving in a distracted way. So that gives you a little, maybe hopefully a little different, broader concept of distracted driving. And that is the bottom line, really, in all of this, is that you want to bring your best self behind the wheel. You want yourself emotionally intact, in a good state. You want yourself to be able to see and to act in a motor skilled kind of way, and to be able to operate the car in the best optimal way. And you don't want any other physical distractions in the car that would take your attention away from driving your car, which is a very, very important, responsible activity. We tend to minimize it because we do it all of the time. And we we lose a sense of respect for the responsibility. So up your game, optimize your driving, take away and limit your distractions. And also, I'm going to say the P word again, plan. Make a plan that if you have these human experiences, which there really, frankly, nothing wrong with being emotional or having a drink out, but not with driving. So make that plan. Enjoy human experiences, or experience them, but don't bring them behind the wheel. If you have any questions whatsoever, give me a shout. Bettina, Altizer Law.